Step into the arena of minds. On this channel, every move is a clash of strategy, every sacrifice a turning point, and every game a battle for glory. Watch two players push the limits of creativity and calculation, as we bring you the drama, suspense, and excitement of chess like never before. Srdjan Sale opens with pawn g3, a sneaky scout on the flank. It looks peaceful, but behind it lurks a bishop sniper waiting to set up on g2. Cute? Mood? Maybe. Dangerous? Definitely. Wesley So blasts back with c5. Boom! The tank rolls straight into the center. No waiting, no mercy. This is my land now, he growls. White bishop g2. The long-range sniper takes its post. Anyone daring to cross the diagonal will get a bullet between the eyes. Black knight chicks. Cavalry joins the front. Wesley's horse covers his tank and threatens raids ahead. A double-purpose soldier. White pawn fire. Infantry charges. Srdjan isn't sitting back. He's grabbing land and shouting, "Come fight me here!" Ninatin. Kanurul muchibon. Just said she. Black pawn, g6. Wesley mirrors the idea, preparing his own sniper. Two rival sharpshooters now stare each other down across the battlefield. White knight f3. The first cavalry arrives for Srdjan, covering the front line and dreaming of a jump to f5. Black bishop g7. The dragon wakes. A fire-breathing bishop now points directly at White's king's house. One false move. Kaboom. White pawn e4. Central dominance. Srdjan stakes a flag in the middle saying, "This kingdom belongs to me." Black pawn z6. Wesley doesn't flinch. He quietly builds his fortress, stacking sandbags before the storm. White pawn d3. Reinforcements arrive. Kein Shane. Win Publiclines. Passionate Minizarisi. Srdjan digs trenches to secure his pawns. Murin and Iyong. Genchius to secure his pawns. Defense before offense. Black knight e7. Wesley keeps his cavalry flexible, ready to leap wherever trouble stirs. He's a poker player hiding his hand. White pawn c3. Another pawn joins the central barricade. The ground shakes as both sides pile up steel in the middle. Black castle's kingside. The general hides in the bunker, behind solid walls of soldiers. Wesley's king is safe for now. White castle's kingside. Srdjan copies, tucking his king away. Both generals retreat. Now it's up to their armies to bleed. Black pawn b6. An invitation for his bishop to come out. Wesley is unlocking another cannon. White pawn a4. Srdjan, fires a warning shot on the queen side. He's saying, don't even think of expanding here. Black bishop s6. The dark bishop leaps out, targeting white's c4 square. A predator circling prey. Bite. White knight a3. An awkward corner hop, but the horse is flanking. Sometimes strange paths lead to deadly jumps. Black rook s8. Wesley rolls his heavy cannon into the c-file, pointing straight at white's future weaknesses. White rook iyong. Srdjan places his own cannon in the center, locking sights on Wesley's king. The battlefield is now loaded with guns on both sides. Black pawn z6. Wesley strengthens the center. A defensive sandbag line, preparing for the storm, Srdjan is cooking. White bishop e3. Srdjan plants his bishop proudly, a general marching to the front line. No fear, no retreat. Nah. Ento. Black pawn e5. Boom! Wesley strikes in the center, throwing down the gauntlet. Swords clash, sparks fly. White knight c4. Cavalry leaps forward, landing on a sharp outpost. This horse is ready to bite into black's camp. Black queen 7. The black queen steps up, surveying the battlefield like a warlord from her tower. White queen b3. Srdjan's queen eyes the b6 pawn like a hungry hawk. It's a standoff of royalty. Black rook d8. Wesley brings in a cannon, locking sights on the d-file. Heavy metal joins the party. White rook done, Srdjan answers. His cannon rolls in, staring straight at Wesley's. Two loaded guns aimed face to face. Black pawn h6. Wesley gives his king some breathing space. Or is this a sneaky airhole before a fire erupts? White bishop cone. Retreat. The sniper pulls back, reloading for a deadlier shot later. Black king a7. Wesley slides his king sideways, ducking from the queen's glare. Safety first. White knight e3. The horse repositions, muscles flexed, preparing to jump into the fire again. Black pawn captures e5. Wesley fires first. His pawn slashes down white's soldier in the middle. First blood. White pawn captures 5. Counter-attack. White pawn lunges, crunching into black soldier. The crowd roars. Black knight captures 5. Put. A black horse tramples down on white's pawn, restoring balance. White knight captures 5. Steal and steal. White's cavalry slices through black's knight, sending the beast crashing down. Black rook captures 5. Cannon fire. Wesley's rook obliterates the white knight without blinking. Iyong. White knight h4. Another horse jumps in, snarling at the rook. Brave or stupid? Maybe both. Black rook f6. Wesley calmly retreats his cannon to safety. Better to reload than to be skewered. White queen c2. Srdjan's queen slides over, whispering with the bishop. Dark plans brew piliin. Ingen worden moestjes en pennen, als til mes in de hen. Black knight e7. Wesley shifts his cavalry back, tightening the defense. The field is now littered with corpses, but the war is only heating up. White rook d2. Srdjan doubles his cannons, stacking power like heavy artillery lining up before the Big Bang. Black knight gate. Wesley drags his horse back to base, like calling cavalry for a final charge. Defensive. Or preparing ambush. White bishop f1. The bishop slinks back, but don't be fooled. This sniper is changing angle for a deadly shot. Black knight g6. The black horse springs forward again, a predator eyeing juicy prey in white's camp. White queen e4. Srdjan's queen steps boldly into no man's land, flashing her blade right at black's king. The crowd gasps. Black bishop 5. A black bishop lunges forward, blocking the queen like a bodyguard diving in front of a bullet. White queen b7. Oh, miss. The white queen sneaks deep into enemy territory, pointing her sword at the rook on 8. Poor audacity. Black rook c8. Wesley shuffles his rook sideways, dodging the queen's glare. Smart move. No free meals here. White queen captures a 7. Bam! Oh! The queen raids the pantry, munching down the pawn on a 7. Supplies stolen. Oh, see a knight who. Black rook f7. Wesley calmly swings his rook, guarding the 7th rank like sealing a fortress gate. White rook done. Another cannon reloads on the central file. Srdjan lining up for something brutal. Black e4. Pawn storm. Wesley shoves a soldier into white's belly. That's not defense anymore. That's war. White queen d4. Retreat, but with venom. The queen still scans the battlefield, like a hawk circling overhead. Black queen g5. Counter-strike. Wesley's queen points her blade, right at the king's castle. Srdjan Sale. White rook e2. Cannon slides over, shielding the king. Srdjan builds a wall, just in time. Black rook c5. Reinforcement arrives. Two black rooks now stare menacingly at the king. Iyong. Storm incoming. White rook e3. The cannon lifts up, preparing to parry blows or smash down later. Tension, sharp as a knife. Black Knight Four. Black's horse dives in viciously, gnashing teeth at White's queen. The arena explodes in cheers. White Queen G3. Queen sidesteps the horse, but keeps eye contact like saying, "You will pay for that lunge." Checkmate. Black Queen H5. Wesley tightens the noose, his queen crawling closer to the White King. Checkmate threat smells in the air. White Rook D4. Bold defense. Srdjan slams a rook right in the queen's face. Block, parry, and maybe counterattack. Black Rook Gate. Wesley calmly lifts his rook, the executioner sharpening his axe. White Queen F5. Srdjan pushes his queen forward desperately, hoping for counterplay. Black Rook E7. Wesley's rook swings across, now glaring at the queen. Traps everywhere. White Rook Four. Cannon slides forward, aiming at the queen. Srdjan still swings back with hope. Black Rook Fight. The rook doubles up, two black monsters now breathing down White's throat. White Queen Zix. Queen steps back, checking diagonals like a commander, clinging to strategy. Black Rook G6. Wesley reloads his rook, preparing a brutal flank strike. White Rook D5. Srdjan blocks again, rook thrown like a desperate shield. Black Queen H3. Black's queen sneaks even closer, licking her lips near White's king. White Rook D2. Rook shuffles back to guard home base, but it looks shaky. Black Knight Four. The horse bites again, smashing into White's defenses like a battering ram. White Queen A4. Queen tries to cut lines, but she's dancing on thin ice. Black Queen G4E. Check. No risks too soon. The Black Queen fires a laser straight at the White King. The crowd roars! White King F1. King flees one square, but he's running into a cage. Black Queen Gone. Another check. Wesley's queen hunts the king, like a hawk chasing prey. White King E2. King stumbles forward, unguarded, sweating under the spotlight. Black Rook E6. Rook storms in, cutting escape routes. The king is in a chokehold now. White Queen E3. Srdjan tries one last heroic block, throwing his queen in front like a body shield. Black Rook E3. Boom. The rook smashes the queen into dust. Decapitation. Hey. White King E3. Forced recapture. King swallows the rook but walks straight into the abyss. Black Rook F3 QK. Final hammer blow. Wesley's rook slams down, and Srdjan's king is finished. 0-1. Explosive finale. Wesley So finishes the game like a true warlord. Relentless checks rain down like artillery fire, crushing every defense. Srdjan Sale fights bravely, but in the end, the White King kneels before the killing blow of the battle general Wesley.